We do have Dryad's Caress here. Let's buff this. And now's the question, do we go for the Vitalities here? I think the answer is yes. And then we have Gord if we want to go all in. Probably don't want to, but I want him to have to go and play big cards here. This time we're going to be playing Nature's Gift again. And the reason for this is because I've been trying to make a Harmony deck for the past few days, and we all know Harmony is bad. But in case you don't know how bad it is, I couldn't come up with anything that actually did anything. So instead, we're going to be playing Nature's Gift. And the reason why is because we want to play Harmony because the changes to Etriel and Morelga, which are pretty good, but mostly because Great Oak is one of my favorite cards. I think it is my favorite card in the game. And I wanted to play Great Oak in Harmony as a finisher. But Harmony didn't work out, but Great Oak did. So I think Great Oak's good, and we want to play Great Oak, so this is a good deck for him. That's the idea here. Now, there hasn't been a lot of Nature's Gift after... Well, it was really good for a patch or two, right? Then they stopped being so popular, but I still think it's pretty good. And let's take a look at it and see how it goes today. Yeah, see how it goes. Should be pretty interesting. So, we have... Tactical Advantage here. You could do Crystal Skull, but the chance they put a lock on is really low, so the extra 1 point comes in handy a lot. You could be Crystal Skull. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't make much of a difference. The reason you usually don't do Crystal Skull is because you usually want to open Dunka, and Dunka already has Veil, but you could if you want to put it on a where is it? Sorceress of Dolphon, for example. So the rest of the deck's pretty standard. We have Great Oak. We have Ethne for the Symbiosis. This is a full Symbiosis deck, by the way. We're playing every Symbiosis card in the game, except for the one off of Saskia, because I don't really count that. So we have Ethne, we have Simloss, Force Protector to replay our Bronze special. We have Call the Forest, Council. Now, I have Freixenet here for the extra Young Dryad instead of Fauve. Fauve will search out your Call the Forest, find whatever you want. It'll search out your Izern's Council. It'll search out your Rebuke if you need it, stuff like that. I just wanted to go with all the Symbiosis cards. This could be a Fauve very easily. Would add some consistency, but the Nature's Gift deck's one of the decks that can actually get too consistent, where you just run out of stuff in your deck. So I went with the Freixenet here. You could do Fauve. I would say both are good. Freixenet is still not the best devotion card, but it does add a little bit of protection to one of the Dryads in your hand. We have Dunka. You want to play Dunka. Usually open with Dunka and put the Tactical Advantage on her if you can. We have Herald Gord as our finisher. We've got 2 Bountiful Harvest. This is what you want to play with Simloss pretty much all of the time. Although if you're desperate, you can do like Rebukes or something. 2 Sorceresses of Dolbathana. You want to protect these if possible, but it's not always... You're not always able to protect these. But the Simloss playing the Bountiful Harvest, if they're on the edges of your hand, you could try and protect them that way, which is nice. And we have ways to boost them back up. Nature's Rebukes for removal. I tried previously, used to run a Circle of Life. Circle of Life's okay, but it doesn't synergize super well. It does protect stuff in your hand a little bit, so you could run like 1 Circle of Life, wouldn't be too bad. And we'll show you where you can cut that pretty soon. So we have the Hama Dryads. Hama Dryads are good to open with. You put the Vitality on them from your leader ability, and you have the Dryad's Caress if they get locked or poisoned or something. So locks are less good versus you, because they know that you're going to purify the locks off. They're running 2 Duen Canell Guardians. This is just because they have Symbiosis, and I want to play all the Symbiosis cards because I thought it'd be fun. These could be something else very easily. I'll talk about changes here, because I already recorded the games. We're just going over the deck profile here. And we'll talk about some changes here and options you can do. With the Dryad's Caress, the 2 Temperings, and the Abandoned Girl. Abandoned Girl's interesting. She counts for herself when you transform her. So you click her leader, you click her ability, she transforms, and if she's the only one on your row, you still get 1 Vitality, which is certainly better than before. And we do have an excess of things the opponent will want to remove, so it's probably not. Like, they might remove this, but they probably won't. They'll probably just leave it, because 1 Symbiosis isn't that big a deal. But yeah, so these are all the cards in the deck. And I think it's pretty good. It worked out well when I was playing it. But let's talk about a couple options you can have here. The one I already mentioned is Freixenet for Fauve. That gives you more consistency. It's not a bad option. The other one is you probably do really want a lock here. So either Moran or Ciaran is probably what you want. And how you get those provisions are you remove the 2 Duen Canell Guardians like this. You put one of these into 4. That's probably better. overall, I'd say that's probably what you want to do. Might want to run all of the Symbiosis cards. If you want a, I mentioned if you do want the Circle of Life, you just take out a Duen Canell Guardian as well. I think it's probably one of the weaker cards, but its order does synergize with the, what's it called? I just said it, Circle of Life anyway. So you could do it and leave it in there. If you don't like Great Oak, you can also run the substitution of Gezras. Gezras is still very strong, gives you a lot of points over a lot of time. You spawn a bunch of stuff with Nature's Gift, so you can go make a bunch of little tree ants over the course of the round and play Gezras to buff them all as a finisher instead of Great Oak. I just think Great Oak's awesome, so we're running Great Oak. It's an easy substitution if you want to do that, though. That's another button you can do. I think those are the big ones, because mostly going to be running this. Yeah, it's pretty simple. As far as how you play the deck, well, basically you try and get value from your engines, you get value over time from your Nature's Gift, spawning the Wandering Tree Ants, and that's basically what you do. End up with a round 3 with a Dunka, or a Herald Gourd finisher. You do have to keep in mind that Herald Gourd's no longer the biggest finisher, so Syndicate, for example, has bigger ones, and so does, well, actually several factions have bigger finishers than this. Just keep that in mind. If you're going up selling the big finisher, keep that in mind. And against things with tall removal, you obviously want Last Say for this, which is where Symbiosis comes in really handy for the round 1 and pushing round 1, make sure you win it. Stuff like that, and you bleed round 2. Very standard-ish gameplay. But that'll be it for the deck. I think that's all the changes and options you can make there. And yeah, let's get into the games here and see how they went. Let's start our first game here. What are we going to be going up against? Vampires. Okay. So this could be a problem. Vampires have very, very strong engines if unanswered. So we need to answer them. And the other thing is we do have Dryad's Caress, which is really good here to remove bleedings. But I do want as much control as possible. So actually Duen Canell Guardian is pretty valuable here. We can set it up as an order damage. And we have both of our, what's it called? Double-Thana Sorceresses here. We'll put this on one of them. What we want to do here, I think, is there's no way we actually beat him in a long round if he has Flighters out. So we need to, okay, it's going to be the Witch's Sabbath version too. We have to win this round then. We can't let him get his long round. So I think we do that. Let's see, we play this. He's not going to actually have damage. We can't actually win this round if he has, like, all of his cards. If he has the Unseen Elder, if he's got the Flighters, we can't actually win. But what we can maybe do is scare him into not playing them. Like, we need to win this one through intimidation and mind games in this round, rather than actually getting more points than him. Because what's going to happen here is, if he does play Flighters, and, okay, he didn't play a Flighter, we can move his defender by making a bomb. So I do want to leave this one Double-Thana Sorceress at a 4, so we have that making a bomb option, because that move will be really valuable. And if he does play anything behind this defender that's scary, we can move the defender, then click the other Sorceress order to kill it, or we can use the Nature's Rebuke in our hand. Now have the Duen Canell Guardians, 2 damage. As long as we can keep these here, I think we can scare him out of playing any of his big engine cards. And if we can stop him from playing them, that's good. But he went with the Alp here, which makes me think he doesn't actually have a Flighter, or he's going to play it this turn to try and boost it to 7 without using the leader charge. So he doesn't get hit by our sorceresses. Okay. I said I wanted to keep this one at 4, but now it's got bleeding. We obviously want to do this. This is very valuable. And we just keep these orders here. As long as these orders are here, he has to respect the amount of damage you could create in a turn and won't be able to play any big engines. Like Unseen Elder would just die here. Maybe. Like, we don't know that, but he probably won't risk it. That's what we're betting on here. Okay, so he didn't have Dominance because we have an 8. So I'm pretty sure that our Intimidation here is working a little bit. He's not sure what to do. Let's just hit this. It's obviously not very good points. We don't need a lot of points here, and it reinforces the idea that we could do a lot of damage, and we can still access that with our Force Protector if we do need it. He's going to pass. The other thing is, the reason we didn't go for the Symbiosis here is because he's going to play Witch's Sabbath, right? If he goes for, and if he does play Witch's Sabbath, I want my Double-Thana Sorceresses back. Those are actually really good cards to get back. So I don't want to make anything with Symbiosis higher than a 4, because I want those cards back from the which is Sabbath. And here, his hand, actually, we're missing Great Oak. And we can't get in. Let's look for, okay, there he is, perfect. So we're going to want to make him Witch's Sabbath here, for sure. Let's see. How my Dryad's not great because of the poison, or the bleeding, so we'll keep making her vitality stop ticking, but we do have the one Dryad's Caress we can use when he puts bleeding on it, so that wouldn't be too bad. He's going to have to Witch's Sabbath for this round if he has it. Which is really our goal. We want the Witch's Sabbath gone. Ragus will be a... Okay, so can we kill that? That is the question here. We have no is the answer. We can go Simloss and see what we get here. Go with Bountiful Harvest, obviously, and let's see what units we create. Okay, Whisperer's not bad. And we could do 3 damage to his Flighter. That wouldn't be bad either, really. So we go here. We go here. We're going to fill our rows up here very quickly. So I don't think we can actually play all of our units, which is fine, because we want to save Wrath of Brocklon for round 3, I think. Our Great Oak's getting really big here. We do need that Witch's Sabbath to come out, which is why I'm saying we'll fill our rows up, because we're going to get 3 more units from that, and we've got the Whisper in our range row, but really we just want to force out the problem cards here, and then make him deal with whatever we have. So we want to go for high tempo in the beginning of the round, and then once he starts his stuff going, we'll pass. Once he gets his plays going, I mean. There's the Witch's Sabbath. Okay, it's not too scary for us. We can go with our Dryad's Caress here and maintain the same idea where we keep all this damage potential on the field. But I think here we'll actually just go for some cards. It's less effective here because we do have the we got this order to kill this guy. We can keep the possibility here on our other Double Fauna Sorceress for something like the move. So in case he plays an Oriana, we have that option to move. If he does play an Oriana, though, I think we won't be able to kill it. There's Oriana. I mean, if you're playing the Defender range, pretty much is for Oriana with vampires. Otherwise, you tend to play it melee, because that's where the Nekarats are good. Well, playable, really. Could still go for Unseen Elder, which would be annoying. And here's the part we want to play. I think we just want to play a bunch of tempo cards. We can go for the Making a Bomb. Let's see. We'll go here. I think this will be time for this. We do the Dryad's Caress, wouldn't be bad. We can Rebuke here, though. We didn't want to go for anything that makes a unit. Dryad's Caress wouldn't have been bad, but this actually gets it. Okay. GG. Last one ended really unexpectedly, didn't it? Like I was getting to the point we could have ended up killing his Oriana with Great Oak the next turn after we rebuked it, so that would stop ticking, but he just thought we had too many points, and he was probably right. But let's go on to the next game here. Another Monsters player. We have White Frost. It's not too bad. White Frost is much better going second, though, so it's a good thing we're going second instead of him. I think we go the Dunka. White Frost usually doesn't have a lot of immediate damage. They do have damage over time, though, so like, I wouldn't expect her to die this turn, but in a couple turns, I'd expect Dunka to be dead. But that's good. That's the kind of stuff we can deal with, right? Because we have a lot of boost cards. We've got Dryad's Caresses. We have them Tempering, stuff like that to keep our things alive. Goes into Naglfar, into Nithral. That's going to be a lot of engine value for him this round. I'm not really concerned because I'm not actually worried about losing this round too much. Because they don't have a giant finisher. If they try and bleed us round 2, we don't have our Simloss, so we can probably get him for that round. That'd help out quite a bit. Here's probably where we get moved. We either get moved and Ardgaith, or he probably doesn't have Ardgaith. Let's find out which one it is. There's the Bruiser. I think we boost her. Want to keep her alive. Yeah, let's boost her. She can give us carryover, which is nice to have, especially if we're considering that we don't really plan on winning this round. Having carryover is good. Freixenet was going to take the frost damage there, but he had the 2 damage on Nithril, so we didn't want to just leave her there. Old Spear Tip. Yeah, we're out of this round. Out of this one. If he does a long round, if he does a round 2 bleed, which is pretty much they always do a round 2 bleed if they're playing White Frost. So he's going to do that. We'll play a bunch of our longer round cards, get some engine values, save up hopefully Wrath of Broccolon, like Call the Forest, and then maybe not Wrath of Broccolon, might use her this round. And then we have the Great Oak. Although our hand here is... Okay, Great Oak's a really good card to draw. We're missing Symbiosis still. That's not great. We have 1 elf in our hand. I think we have... Okay, let's see what this is. That's fine. We probably just open with one of the Hamadryads here. Trying to think. We have 1 Zoldythana Sorceress in our deck and Symbiosis, so... It's not a guaranteed draw on Symbiosis from the Isengrim's Council. Can we kill that? We could play the... We play Duen Canell Guardian. Let's see if he has the Ardgaith. I don't think he's playing Ardgaith. We're gonna find out here. I don't think he's running it. If he is running it, well, then we did something that's not too smart. But what we were trying to do here is just split our guys up a little bit. Usually it's not a big deal. You don't really want to split them up versus the Frost deck. But there's the old Spear Tip. So no Ardgaith. That's what I thought. Because we want to know if he's playing Ardgaith or not. Because if he's playing Ardgaith, he's going to go for a longer round 3. If they're playing Ardgaith, they want to use its full duration in 2 different rounds. So go for a longer round 3. Now that we know he doesn't have it, we can really much expect that he could actually pass at any point. He's going to have an Ozrel for a finisher, probably. But yeah. Since we know he doesn't have Ardgaith, because he would have played it there if he had it, we know that we're probably going to... We could see a short round 3 where he has more value. Right? Okay, short round 3 might not necessarily be bad. Because if you have Ardgaith, you don't save it for a short round 3 because it's really bad in a short round. Okay, we take 12. That's not great, but whatever. We have Hamadryad here. Let's see if we can make a Dryad's Caress. That'd be nice. Orb is actually a consideration here. Orb wouldn't be bad. We get carryover from the Bountiful Harvest. It's not bad. Let's reduce his dominance a bit. And we don't need to do this, but we will. Not sure what he'll play here. He probably has an Ozrel. He has an Oberon Conqueror. He's got Aridin. These are the big cards he has left. Aridin, Conqueror. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Toad Prince is a card. Maybe he might have played Toad Prince. I'm trying to think. It's not a big card anyway. It's like an 8 provision card. I mean, I guess it is kind of a big card. There's the pass. So yeah, we knew this was an option here, this pass, because we found out there was no Ardgaith. If there was an Ardgaith, he probably would have kept bleeding, and then we wouldn't have we would have gone to a short round 3. But since we knew he didn't have the Ardgaith, we made sure we stayed ahead there. Like we tried extra hard to stay ahead so we could get up a card here. We're still missing Wrath of Broccolon and Symbiosis. after that. Which is obviously not good. Yeah, that's not great. Let's go Isengrim's Council. Let's go for this first, though. If we do go with Simloss and we play a card that buffs, we want to have something that can buff. And if we do damage, we can combine with this damage to do more. He's deciding something. I'm going to play Osriel this early. He already played Naglfar. I'm not sure what this decision is. Maybe it's Oberon? What other cards would you have to decide with? It's probably Oberon, but they didn't play it yet. Okay, it is Oberon. That's an interesting choice. I would not make that choice, but I guess you can. Go Council here. I think Simloss is better. We only have the one nature card in our hand. They obviously go very well together. There's a Sorceress, that's nice to have. We actually have a bunch of special cards in our deck. But we would get one, we have a Dwarf and a Human, so this is worth 8 points. It's probably better. Well, it's definitely better. Would like to kill Oberon Conqueror, but we can't quite... Well, we couldn't quite last turn without using our Forest Protector. I want to get these guys going. And like, last time I talked about the Ardgaith last round and said that we didn't have... we could have played like just in one row so that the Ardgaith wouldn't hit 2 units. Remember that we're spawning Tree Ants in both rows, so it's ultimately not very important. Because the Tree Ants will just go to the both rows anyway. Okay, there's that. More Frost. No Aridin yet, so maybe he doesn't have it. We can do a lot of damage here. I think we just kill Oberon. 17-point Great Oak, and there he is in all his glory as our finisher. Not being our last card, because instead we used him for much of removal. Oh, he did have Ardgaith. It's fine. We're gonna have to play in both rows anyway. Probably Aridin. I would guess there's an Aridin if he's playing this. Well, there's a Toad Prince. We mentioned him earlier. He does have him. He's closing in here. Transform, gain of vitality. Our Gourd will be very big. And we can get this order off. Even if he damages our Sorceress, we could Force Protector for a boost card. There's the Osriel. Okay, I guess he doesn't have Aridin, because he had Aridin. I guess he didn't have Dominance, so Aridin didn't make sense. So I guess we would have kept the Frost going for another turn, though. I would have played Aridin there if I had it, so I'm guessing he doesn't. Let's go with the Tempering. Let's boost this. We'll boost our Gourd, and the last say on this Gourd will be very, very big. None of these are worth a lot of points. They're all worth 3, actually. Not amazing. Did have Aridin. I guess he lost out on a turn of Frost by not playing him earlier. And then an extra boost. So we lost out on 3 points. Those 3 points are not going to matter, because Herald Gourd is a 20, and that's a GG. Inspired Zeal Siege. Okay, I foresee this being very difficult. Try our best. We need damage cards. If he gets his setup going with like Hensel and Rafard's Vengeance and a Foltest Pride in round 1, then we're going to lose on even, and then we kind of just lose the game if you draw Siege, which is probably not good. This is where a lock would be very handy, and where you cut the Duen Canell Guardians for a lock. I think that makes the deck a little bit better, but I want to run all the Symbiosis cards like I said. Sorceress. Now, they usually do run a lock, and he could also duel this, so I don't expect her to live. Yeah, there's the lock. We do have a Purify, but there's no reason to play it right now. I would like to get at least a 3 vitality from it, so we get more value. So we'll play this Duen Canell Guardian, gives us 2 damage. We can combine that with maybe the Rebuke to kill something. Jafard's Vengeance. So we can kill that with just the Inspired Zeal, but usually they boost it. Oh, he didn't. Okay. The issue is, I think Henselt's worse. Like, Henselt gives him more points than Jafard's Vengeance, which is very annoying. We can kill them both, though. We can Rebuke Henselt, and then next turn we could go for the Force Protector, but I think we need the Sim Loss. We're going to need the proactive points here. This may be the wrong choice, but we're going to go for it anyway. We could have killed Henselt that turn, but next turn we can kill him too. And we can still kill Jafard's Vengeance the turn after. I think we're okay. Play this. Play this. We can damage Jafard's Vengeance here. Potentially kill it. The only way we really get in bad shape here is if he's holding onto a winch. Of course, if he had a winch, I would think he might wait a turn. Okay, so we lose the Guardian. That's fine. We'll Rebuke Henselt now, or we can get rid of this. We can hit Henselt. It's the same. We can still kill both. Voltus Pride's a little scarier than Henselt here. Okay, there is the winch. Now I can't kill Henselt. It's kind of what I expected. We're only killing one of those or the other. But if Henselt's only 1 a turn, it's not that bad. Get some engines going. We do have a Purify still for our Sorceress. We can probably get some movement or damage from her. That'd be nice. Problem is our hand's really poor, the remaining cards. Like, Tempering's not worth much. Caress will give us access to an order, which is good. It's a Bombardment. It's not too bad. The reason we chose to kill Jafard's Vengeance over Henselt there is just mostly for the thinning. We didn't want him thinning. Let's see what we get here. Or movement. Okay, movement might be good. We can move Henselt out of his row. I like that. We're going for Voltus Pride. Then he still has the other Siege Engine next to it. Yeah, we'll do this. And we'll damage Henselt here. The problem here is these next 2 cards are bad. The 2 Temperings. It's going to be Voltus Pride firing again. This is basically what I said in the beginning of the game we didn't want to happen, but he has so many engines, it's kind of hard to stop it from happening. Dryad's Caress is worth a lot, but do we want the carryover from Bountiful Harvest? I think we do. Elven Seer might help us out here. Other than the fact it's going to almost certainly be killed. But we'll boost this, try and stay in here. Really do need Elven Seer to live for a chance here. And that hurts because it removes the vitality as well. We can go with the Temperings still. As long as we can play the Temperings, it's probably better for us to play them. And make him lose cards. Our only real shot is if he doesn't draw the Siege for his next round. Or we can maybe get him to play it here when uneven. He wouldn't play here though. So we have basically the card he won't play. Playing Oil, it's annoying. From this point we can't really play anything. What is this, a 13? We'll have to pass here. The problem is if he did draw Siege, at this point we lose the game. As we can't beat it. We could draw Wrath of Brocklon, which would help, but I don't think we can really. Basically, this is what you're vulnerable to, is these damage engine cards. Freixenet's not bad. Hamadryad, we have nothing really to give vitality, so put that back. The thing is, all these cards are going to die. And there's the Siege, so. It's pretty much just a loss from here, but we'll play the cards anyway. has 2 duels potentially too. Get bombarded next turn. We can remove this, hopefully. That helps. Still, he is 3 and does 6. We probably lose everything next turn. I guess we have 1 point left over, depending what he plays. We don't actually have a... Yeah, we don't have our Great Oak or Ethne. It's annoying. Okay, so... Play with the Guardian. Hopefully, if he has any damage, he uses it on this. And then maybe Double-Thought Sorceress can go off. Okay, thankfully we have Veil, so that doesn't give us bleeding. Play the Sorceress. Hopefully she can get her order off. That's really our only shot, if her order does work out. However, it's probably not going to. Yeah, because this is just going to play anything that does damage, and that's going to be GG. Our Herald Guard's a 15 right now, so that's just GG. Well, that's kind of what happens. We get a bad matchup here. Let's just go to the next game. Alright. We do not want to play stuff like Siege with tons of damage engines. We don't have that much control. The lock would certainly have helped in that game, by the way. So, no Guardians. Cut the Guardians for a lock is what I would recommend for the deck, unless you really want to play all the Symbiosis cards. By the way, here's another Siege deck. I said we don't really want to play those, but we'll try and get this guy. We'll try at least. This time it looks a little better. So we actually do have Call the Forest. And a way to get Ethne. So, actually she's in our hands. Yeah, we actually got her this time. And some loss. That's pretty good. We have a Sorceresses. Last time our first Sorceress got locked, which was annoying. If this one doesn't get locked, it's better for us in a lot of ways, because we can use her order in combination with a control card to deal with stuff. Alright. So we're playing Rafar's Vengeance in Stockpile. Is that what's going on here? Lucky I didn't get a rebuke there. Very sad if I did. For him. We could have used Duncan's order there to stop this Rafar's Vengeance. But he'd probably still do it somehow. But yeah, there's no reason you play Vest if you're not playing, like, Rafar's Vengeance. And you want the Zeal. Where is it? There it is. So he's going to basically... I think he's just going to be playing all the cooldown cards. Is kind of what this looks like. Now, we still have our problem of... Oh, don't buff the... He's going to buff the Rafar's Vengeance. Our problem here still kind of is that we can't actually let him get all these cooldown cards going, or else we'll just lose. Okay, Henseld's gone. We will not be able to kill Rafar's Vengeance, though. Let's see. We don't want a Foltest Pride. Just no Foltest Pride. Black Rayla. Do we just pass at 6? I'd like to get in a position where we can do that. Simloss might let us do that, but then we don't have him later. Great Oak plays Rebuke. It's not fantastic. Or not Great Oak, a Forest Protector, if we would have called a Forest him. Let's play Sorceress. He doesn't have that much damage yet. And if we do need to pass, we can go for the Simloss and then probably get our pass still. His cooldowns aren't ridiculous yet. Winterfar's Vengeance, so he's going to thin his deck. Interesting. So he's going to go for the inspired stuff. What if he's playing War Elephant too? Could be playing the War Elephant. We do have the Tempering to boost here. It's probably good use of Tempering. Rebuke is not bad. Orb's also not bad. Could damage Black Rayla out of her inspired range, though. That's probably worth it. We can kill her with Dunka too. It's definitely worth it. If we knew we were going to get Rebuke, we could have gotten 2 more points by using Dunka first, but didn't know we were going to get Rebuke, and if we didn't, I wanted her hand buffing. Okay, we have Simloss here. I think it's the Simloss turn. The Bountiful Harvest. Well, really we don't want these on Ethne Young Queen, so if we can help it, we won't pick the right side units, because it doesn't give us value. Bomber. Because he transforms and we lose the boosts. Okay, the good ones are on the left anyway, so. Gord got bigger. This does 2 damage to 2 things. This does 2 damage, and we can kill Vess. That's nice. I think the only reason he has Vess is for the Grifard's Vengeance, though. It is something I considered when I made my Siege deck. Like, I tried making a version with that. I thought about using it, went to play. I was like, you know, it's probably not worth it. I'm, like, warping the deck so much for Grifard's Vengeance that I'm probably just better off not using it. This guy apparently thinks the opposite, thinks it is worth warping it so much to play the Grifard's Vengeance. It's something I considered, so it makes sense. It is a good card. He's still pushing us on even here. Freixenet might not be bad. Great Oak is really big here, but I'd like to save Great Oak. And if we are forced to play Ethne now, we do have the +2 boost from Freixenet on him. And there's the pass. The question is, do we bleed out Siege and go into a longer-ish medium length round against his Siege? I think the answer is yes. Because his finisher will be smaller than Herald Gord. I'm convinced of that. And if his finisher is smaller than Herald Gord... Okay, I want Great Oak and I want Forest Protector here. Deck, let's go. I want one or the other so I can get the other one with the Rebuke. Not Rebuke. Call the Forest. We don't have them both. That is annoying. Let's go Ethne. I want to get these Symbiosis points out before his Siege starts hitting everything. And we're going to play Melee to try and avoid the Siege from the Trebuchet, which will come out. There is the Siege. We could call the Forest. We could boost one of our cards. We could Rebuke. Rebuking's not bad, but I'd rather Rebuke like a Caro Ballista or something. Okay, we'll pull this out. Our Symbiosis unit. And I was really hoping that was going to be a Hamadryad. Unfortunate. It's not a bad card, though. The damage might be helpful. There's a regular Ballista. We will kill that with this Rebuke. If I was him, I might have actually considered using a leader charge to kill that. But probably wasn't worth it in the end. Trebuchet's going to start hitting stuff now. We have a lot of Symbiosis going on, right? That Treant was a 5. Okay, that's there. Bombardment. Don't kill the young Dryads, please. Oh, 1 lived. Actually, 1 is good. We're going to have 1 live and the Duen Canell Guardian live. He might use a leader charge here. No. That's fine. We can go with this. And Great Oak can kill off the Reinforced Ballista. Oh, we get an extra point there because we go to the melee row. That's nice. And then do we Vitality? We can Vitality next turn. Let's at least protect this young Dryad, potentially. If he has a Fultus Pride, now it doesn't kill it. Well, if he did have a Fultus Pride, I'm pretty sure he would have already played it. Actually, this might be for Fultus Pride, because you get the Soldier next to it then. Nope, just Battering Ram. Actually, not often you see a Battering Ram in the deck. Interesting. We do have Dryad's Caress here. Let's buff this. And now it's the question, do we go for the Vitalities here? I think the answer is yes. And then we have Gord if we want to go all in. Probably don't want to, but I want him to have to go and play big cards here. King Radovid. Interesting. So we're up 10. This is a 19. We are up 10. We get 4 vitalities. He gets 1 damage. He gets to move 3. That all balances out, essentially. So pretty much he needs 11. He might be able to do with cooldowns from his leader. But if we play our Gord and That's lose. That's our last card, right? That's like our only big play. But I don't think he'll do very well in the short round, so we should be okay. I'm guessing he has to use leader charges here. There's the Poultice Pride. He did have it. He has to play 1 leader charge, then he can pass. Yeah, he can pass now. Because the Trebuchet damage will balance out our 1 vitality. Anything else here is a waste. Okay, sure, do that. That's fine. No, okay, he spent an extra leader charge for no reason. I'll take it. I will take it, but it wasn't smart. So he should have 1 more leader charge here if he was counting correctly. But we have our Herald Gorge, which will be really big, and we have Last Say, so no interaction there, and he will be our finisher card. Okay, this hand's really not looking good here. Can I get my Force Protector? Thank you. Hamadryad's still not great. We could go for the Dryad's Caress off of the Force Protector, or use the Hamadryad as like bait for something. Would be okay. Wouldn't be a bad choice. Tempering's just okay. We'll probably put it on a Wandering Treant. Oh, that's intriguing. We'll go with this Hamadryad. I'm guessing it dies. Or it doesn't, maybe Force, or maybe we Dryad Protect. What am I talking about? Maybe we Force Protector for the Dryad's Caress on it. Combine the cards. Okay, this is actually looking a little bit scary. Because he has the leader charges still. Rebuke kills that. Is that better than the Dryad's Caress? I think it is. So otherwise he might line up these battering rams and get extra value from the leader charges. We do not want that happening. I think we blocked 6 damage there by killing that. Definitely worth it. Now he should have 1 more leader charge here. We'll see if that matters in the end. Bombardment. Okay, thankfully we still have a unit left to boost. Gord is a 19. Bombardment again, but only for 5. So he gets an extra 5 points if he has that last leader charge. Doesn't make him win, so oh well. GG. So we're 1 for 1 against siege decks. And we have, okay, this will also probably be a hard game to win. These heavy control decks, which is, I'm assuming this is a heavy control deck, they're very problematic. As they kill our engine cards, we don't have a lot going for us. Also, this hand, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. We'll work with this. Problem is our engines are all going to die. Thing is, he might have trouble doing 5 damage. Because usually Gutting Slash is the card you run if you're playing Reckless Flurry. So we probably can keep our first unit alive. We go Dunka, we can probably keep her alive. It's not bad. Thing is, we don't actually have any Temperings or stuff to protect her after she takes the damage from a Gutting Slash. So we can only sort of protect her, like a little bit. Okay, so now she'll die next turn is probably what's going on here. Playing Warriors. Warriors, we really want to not have that round 3, if possible. Boost here. If he has a Gutting Slash, we do lose our Hamadryad. But we'll lose Hamadryad or Dunka. In this way, one of them lives. We have a second Hamadryad, so it's not the biggest of deals. And Hamadryad is not amazing anyway, because they usually run Morkvarg Heart of Terror. And Morkvarg Heart of Terror just destroys Hamadryad. Although, if he does use it on a Hamadryad, Gord's safe, but we want to play for last say anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, he thinks Dunka's scarier than the Hamadryad. I'm not sure I agree, but that's what he thinks. Let's go for a Guardian here. This will probably die, but his round here should be fairly... It should be, like, weak-ish. Our issue here is we don't have Sim Loss. Sim Loss is the card we need for this round 1. See, yeah, Simloss is really the card we need here. We have a 33% chance of getting him off of the Iron's Council. And we really need that to happen, which is unfortunate. This is where Fauve helps you out quite a bit. Because you can Fauve for the... what's it called? Call the Force. Oh, let's be fair. Fauve's in our Freixenet slot. We don't have Freixenet either. So we wouldn't really have Fauve in our hand. But potentially you could Iron's Council into the Fauve if she's your only Dryad. And then you can go from that into the Call of Force, into the Simloss. It uses all your tutor cards up and thins your deck a whole bunch, but might be worth it in cases like this. Ah, no Simloss. That's unfortunate. Really needed him there. Although we still have good engine value, and his cards are going to be weaker this round, so maybe we can still take it. Although I kind of doubt it, because we do have to worry about that Heart of Terror. And Simloss is really our big push card. We do have Rebuke. Like, we have Rebuke and Hamadryad. It's all not great, though. We probably... Do Dryads? We don't have Dryad's Caress. We could make it, but... It's kind of scary, because they're setting up his Heart of Terror. Yeah, we'll do it. We're going to get Heart of Terror here for sure if he has it. It's just going to be too big for him not to do. But at least then Gord will be safe. And we do have a second Hamadryad we can start boosting. Maybe that'll be the play. Drummond Berserker. Not really too concerned about that. Maybe go for our second Hamadryad. I think that's the choice here. Or we can kill this. Let's kill this. I'm not sure I want to reveal this like a Hamadryad yet. So he has a Heart of Terror. The thing is, he also has Fukusha, right? So we can replay the Heart of Terror if he uses it in this round. That's not awesome. So I think we do go for the second Hamadryad here. Next, this is the turn he would play the Heart of Terror because it's the last turn of our Vitality on that one Hamadryad. So if he has it, it's coming down here probably. And then we can go for our... Yeah, there it is. We can go for Dryad's Caress back on that from our Forest Protector. That wouldn't be bad. Potentially, we can also go for another... No, that's probably the best choice. It will give her a lot of points over these upcoming turns. Heart of Terror is probably what he wanted to save him from this round. We got rid of it here. So I think we're good unless he has, like... I don't know... Fukusha in his hand. Although if we bleed out Fukusha, that wouldn't be bad either, really. No Bloodthirst for you, my friend. Just got the one. Champion's Charge only does 5 damage. I think we... Gord's a 7. I think we go for Ethne here, yeah. Yeah, we do. Bleeding out this last card is pretty important. And even if we use Gord to win on even, we still have Simloss for a big play coming up. You could potentially use Simloss as a substitute for Gord as a finisher. I don't mind losing Gord here if it's a win on even. Especially against Warriors where we don't want their veterans going. But it's not going to matter. Because he had Fukusha. So, Gord's too small. We lost our Ethne Young Queen. But I will trade her for Fukusha. That's a good trade. Definitely good trade here. Like, we would have been a draw if we played our Gord. And that's not really what I want. But it's good that we got rid of the Fukusha. It's better than having our own Ethne because now he can't replay the Heart of Terror. And that means our Gord's safe. Pretty much. I guess we really want Simloss here. We can't risk redrawing in case he pushes us here. Which he's not going to, but... You never know. Abandoned Girl. Okay, now we really just need to not draw Dryad Caresses and Temperings. We just don't draw those, and don't draw Bountiful Harvest. We're good. Because they're all low-value cards. Well, stuff like... Okay, that's a Caress. That's the worst card in our deck. That's the second worst card in our deck. Caress is going... Caress and Tempering are both bad. At least with Caress, we have the potential to get a Dryad. No, come on. I don't want these. I have to keep it. Because we can't draw a I guess we could have mulliganed there for the tempering to try and get again, because then if we draw a Bountiful Harvest, we can get 2 temperings with Sim Loss, but it doesn't really set anything up, and we need these to set stuff up. We do have a lot of special cards in our deck, and 5 points is the best here. The reason we need Sim Loss here for the units is we have so many buff cards, he's playing a heavy damage deck. So if we don't go for these unit-making cards, then we just won't have anything to buff and we'll have to discard. These Dried Caresses are really bad here. They're all 3 points. Really wanted Great Oak. We have Call the Force for Great Oak, but he's probably never going to get to 5 damage, and we need him at 5 damage. Because he's going to have control here. To be fair, though, we have a lot of points, and unless he's playing some kind of bronze engine like Greatsword, we should be okay. Otherwise, not being able to kill this Herald the Cripple will make us lose. We could risk going for Call the Forest Great Oak next turn. We got a 50-50 of it spawning on the ranged row, and then we go for the Great Oak. Well, that doesn't matter anymore. Andy does have the Great Sword. So I think that's going to be rough. We have 2 3-point cards in our hand is the problem. I guess they're 4 because we have Symbiosis on our leader, but they're just 4-point cards. And everything he has is going to be like 10. Or more. So he still has the damage guy, Squirtle, and still stuff like that. I was looking to see if we wanted to play a Dryad with our Call the Forest, but that's not possible. And it would be really bad if we did. The Great Oak would be bigger. Potentially, we could have gone for the Call the Forest into the Source with the Double Thana and hope it makes Nature's Rebuke. But come on, it's still not great. It won't make us win or anything. And here comes the War of Clans. We're gonna take some more damage. This is what I was saying. If we don't have the Simloss to make double Bountiful Harvests, we don't have enough units for this kind of stuff, because they all just die. So Herald on Crate here is going to have a ton of points, which is our issue. As each damage Herald on Crate did, Herald the Cripple, I mean, or to every damage Herald the Cripple did, gave him an extra point on his Greatsword and did damage to us, and he's really the problem here. We couldn't get the 5 damage to kill him, which is our issue. Bit unfortunate. Oh, another Greatsword, of course. I guess it's time for Great Oak. This is a situation we wanted to avoid getting in, but the round 1 has Fukusha got him here. That's an extra point, but we still can't kill Cripple, so this is a big play, but it's not big enough. And Gord's 19, but that's not going to be it, because he still has a Squirtle in his hand. This will be a GG here. Actually, this is only a 17, but this will be a GG. Probably Squirtle. Not sure what else he would have. It doesn't matter either. There he is. GG. That'll be it for this one, guys. I added the card changes and such to the beginning, and I made the beginning after I played the games this time. See if that format works out better. We'll see what you think. Anyway, that'll be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.